On Monday, I met with President Obama. I brought up the issue of Venezuela. I brought up the fact that we have protesters that have been killed. We have protesters that are arrested. We have lost freedom of speech. And on Monday, I said, you should consider sanctions against the leadership of Venezuela and Maduro. He is doing the wrong thing. The president, it's been 4 days, the president's taken no action. And what have we seen? We've seen the beauty queen killed, shot. Can you imagine that happening in this country? We're a country based on freedom. We're a country based on democracy. We expect that in anybody that we do business with. The president needs to take sanctions. Senator Rubio brought up the sanctions we should do. We should clearly freeze the bank accounts of Maduro and his whole gang. We should stop the travel visas. Don't let anybody that's adversely impacting these protesters, these peaceful protesters, from ever coming into our country. They should never be able to come into our country. We are Americans, we're Floridians. We have so many people from Latin America, so many people from Venezuela. We need to stand with the people of Venezuela, not do what this president's doing and doing nothing. On top of that, we need to take care, we need to make sure Leopoldo Lopez is released from prison. He is doing the right thing. Now, all of us need to invite President Obama when he comes to Florida. He's coming to Florida next month. He needs to come right here and listen to your stories. What's happening to your friends and your relatives? He needs to hear it. The leader of the United States needs to take action. He has done nothing.
What's happening in Venezuela is the systematic violation of liberty and human rights by a government, following a playbook that they learned from Havana and dictators before them. They are using the armed forces and the police departments of the government not to protect the people, but to kill them, but to violate them, but to oppress them. They've used the power of the government to shut down freedom of the press. They threaten their opponents with jail time, and in fact, they carry those threats out. Interestingly enough, the other day, the so-called president of Venezuela, what in fact is the dictator of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, said that I was the crazy of crazies. That's interesting coming from a man who claimed that Hugo Chavez, after death, appeared to him in the form of a small bird. This tyranny and this dictatorship is not happening halfway around the world. It is happening here in our own hemisphere. It is affecting men and women and their families who live among us, who contribute to this community. And if the United States will not lead on the cause of human rights and freedom, no nation on earth will. If we do not lead, what other nation on earth will follow? If there is one country on this planet that should be firmly on the side of the people on the streets of Venezuela asking for freedom and liberty, it is the United States of America. And that's why I've asked the president not simply to be concerned about what's happening in Venezuela, but to be outraged by it. And to clearly pronounce that the people of the United States and our government are 100% on the side of the rightful ambitions of the people of Venezuela. And I've also asked the president to do what he has the power to do already, and that is to freeze the assets and revoke the travel visas of these government officials in Venezuela who are participating in these crimes. You know, they come here to Miami, they buy their fancy suits here, they buy their cars, they buy apartments, some have their kids in school here. They take their travel visas to spend the money they steal from the Venezuelan people in Disney World. They act with impunity, knowing there will be no consequences for their crimes. That cannot continue. Mr. President, stop that now.